Look to the right, you can see I learned a lot about it. One more building, there's one more building I would like to point out on your left-hand side. The gorgeous Italian Renaissance structure. This is our State Opera House.
State Opera.
Name in northern Italy, by the way. But for about 80 or 100 years, was Longobards lived here in this region. Longobards, clean public park, and there are quite a few interesting things to see. You can find its name on top of its facade, Gunda Gilandia, and the date 1894, the date when it was the year when it was established. If you keep looking to the left, you can see the main entrance of the Budapest Zoo, which happens to be the second old. They don't have to pace up and down all at last. They have big openings. And the next thing on your left-hand side is Budapest Grand Circus. It's a painting, and right in front of this building, right in the small park, you can see two stones around stones with the steam coming out. You may be able to spot. Can you see the steam coming out? Yeah,
come out
hot
of
water. Your skin
steam come out
immediately.
of the
Left-hand side, behind trees, straight. This area, during summertime, people do rowing and boating here in the shallow lake. And in the winter time, it was probably they are preparing it already. They are preparing it for the winter. In the winter time, the area functions as an ice skating rink.
Hero Square.
Most popular ice skating rink in town.
英雄广场。
This is represent the 7 tribes that leader that Hungarian conquer this land 1100 years ago, and they are not Huns. They are the nomad people from Asia. This is Angel St. Gabriel. Art Museum. This is Hero Square. This area is called Hero Square. It's in Budapest, Hungary. Bielsa. Okay, hello 大家。往 flash 哈，边特别黑。这架壮观哈。1967, and
this avenue, which is today named after him, sections, simply by taking a look around, you can tell in which section of along Andrassy Avenue. Facade is decorated with graffito here on the left, and we keep just on the facade. Statues, all those statues represent world-famous composers whose operas and ballets are very often filmed here, and a couple of those statues represent Hungarian composers, of course, like Liszt Ferenc. Liszt Ferenc was a world-famous composer and changed it in Vienna. And then he was educated in Vienna. He grew up there. He lived most of his life in German-speaking areas, and that's why.
This church is a deceptively ancient look. It's less than 100 years old because we consecrated this church in 1905. Now, Stephen, who was born as Stephen the First, but after his death. Take a look up there. You see the striking difference. That's the after renovation stage. Ja, nem, kint elmondtam meg. Gondoltam, hogy...
And then the sand-colored building on your right-hand side is the headquarters of the Hungarian Bank. It issues the Hungarian currency, very strong currency. If you take a look to the right, you keep looking to the right, you can see a yellow building with a flag on its balcony. Building, most important building in our state life. Now we are driving. Once we are up in Castle District at Fisherman's Bastion, you will have the chance to take a good look at the whole structure of our Parliament building. So once we are on the Buda side, and then here across the river, with lots of small from Fisherman's Bastion, you'll have the chance to take excellent pictures of our Parliament building, the whole structure. There you will have the right angle, the right where you could take the best picture. But when driving by a building of that size, so close, the bank of the river Danube, which river happens to be the second largest river in Europe, considering its navigable length. The forest in Germany. And after flowing through 7 countries, it empties in the Black Sea. So originates in the Black Forest, empties in the Black Sea, and as a result, we call it the Blue Danube. Yes. Now, on our way to the Buda side, we are crossing Chain Bridge, our oldest and narrowest permanent stone lines. And if you take a look to the right, now please take a look. On your right-hand side, Margaret Bridge has a French design. It was designed by a famous French architect who became famous for his tower in Paris. So I'm talking about Monsieur Gustave Eiffel. That's right. He lived in the city for a couple of years. Ahead of us, on Elsa Hill, facing the river. You can see a huge structure, a huge building with former royal palace. And also hill. We are heading for Castle District now. Unfortunately, I cannot recall the hardware stores for the gentleman. Only those souvenir shops where you can buy books and embroideries and lace and those kind of things. Also, room stop, just in case. Actually, we could even start with a washroom stop, and then afterwards, so they would know exactly how.
Bullet hole.
How much damage?
This used to be the Germans' headquarters.
We all believe that it has served its purpose, and now it's just high time to renovate it. To commemorate those people who sacrificed their lives for independence and sacrificed their lives for freedom and independence. You might have heard that Hungary was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire for many years, for centuries. Items, embroidered items that she got here as a present.
This has a different roof.
You must have a group from Taiwan.
Many years ago, I had groups from Taiwan, where they taught me Mandarin. Many buildings here are 500, 600 years old. This church right behind me is 750 years old. This square is named after the monument that occupies the middle part of it. The monument is called Holy
Trinity
The
Square.
monument was erected in the 18th century after a devastating plague, this epidemic, the Black Death.
To
You
remember
can see a
Black
part of
Death.
Fisherman's Bathroom. This white structure with the cleft came to waging wars, and they put this thing from the columns, flags which were all brought here for those coronation ceremonies I mentioned, brought here by Hungarian noble families between 1308 and
This church, but here Midwest Eastern Arabic occupied. So it is Arabic culture. It's better go in get some synagogue.
啊，这就是奥匈帝国时的有啊，对了。
1251, built 1251.
哦，这个人。
你看这种那个 Arabic 那个 design。
有呀。所以係東西方。
There's the parliament there. Is that something?
Beautiful city.
Okay.
It's my design. Look at me. It's my design. It's my design. Fabulous.
Yep. 你冇去話啦，你別看啦，你別看啦，呢啲。All the stamps and books.
Only zone. So these are the most important things. Those of you who have signed up for the cruise, please stay on the bus. We go. This is time for me to say goodbye to those of you who are staying in town. Unless you are coming with us tonight for the dinner. For the dinner. Is it going to be a dinner and operetta concert together, or just the dinner? Just dinner, yes, okay. Tonight I'm coming with you for the dinner. But in case you are not coming tonight, I want to say goodbye to you, and I hope you enjoyed the city tour and my commentary, and I hope you are going to take back good memories from Hungary. And also, I hope you are going to put Budapest on your comeback list. Yes, question? Oh, 2 pieces of the Berlin Wall. Bruno told me last night that he would want to tell you about those 2 pieces. That's why I didn't mention them. And also, I didn't mention anything about those 2 pieces of the Berlin Wall because during this city tour, during the regular route at the city tour, we didn't pass by them. So, many people wouldn't have known what I was going to talk about. Bruno wants to tell you about him, so I don't want to take his job, He would be mad at me or something, So, we are very close now to the place where we can drop those of you off who wish to stay in town. Also, one more thing, I would like to tell you one more thing. This pedestrian-only zone should be a busy area with lots of people around. And whenever you are in an area where there are many people around you, just to be on the safe side, please watch your belongings. Now, here on your right-hand side, can you see this parking lot? There's this parking lot here. And if you walk through this parking lot, as you leave it, it's just 50 yards. As you leave it at its far end, right there, you're gonna enter this pedestrian-only zone. At the beginning of that zone is where you find Metro Yellow Line terminal. So you get on Metro Yellow Line there, get off at the 4th stop at Octagon, and walk 2 more blocks and you're back at the hotel. Or if you want to walk all the way back to the hotel, from here, you just keep walking straight ahead along the main street, always straight ahead, until you get to Octagon. Octagon, the square, this intersection of András Shevchenko and Big Boulevard. And then you turn left 2 more blocks, walk 2 more blocks, and you're back at the hotel. Octagon is where you find Burger King. You can't miss it. Burger King and Wendy's and McDonald's. All 3 authentic Hungarian restaurants in one place. Yes, always straight ahead. Straight ahead at Octagon, turn left. Okay.
shops, most of the shops close at 6 or 7 o'clock. Some private shops still stay open till 9 or 10, 8, 9, 10. Yes. So those of you who have signed up for the cruise, please stay on the bus. And okay, dinner is at 6 o'clock.
Ê là.
Okay.
Đi mình chạy rất khó chạy đi bên trái là kì.
Bye bye.
Có người đi qua thì Dia có có chỉ họ nó mượn.
kindly ask you to leave the bus fast because we gotta go and reach that boat.
Hey, Andre, can we leave luggage here?
Yeah. Bộ
The small thing in here for the boat. This thing leave in the car in the.
Coming back, right? It's okay. While having the boat cruise,
Yeah.
you can leave the things on the bus. Yes. Yes, Hans will stay with the bus during the cruise. So if you have things that you do not necessarily want to carry on board onto the boat, you can leave them here
Thank you.
in the overhead compartment or under your seat. But Hans will stay with the bus, so it's safe to leave those things here. So we're going back to the hotel now, just to stop by the hotel, and Bruno, he must be waiting for us desperately.
chế dừa chế哇，没有。
There's a question here about how we pronounce the name of Matthias in Hungarian. We call him Mátyás. Mátyás. So in Hungarian, the church that we just visited in Kessel district is called Mátyás Church. And in Hungarian, church is templom. Templom. Mátyás templom. Temple. Actual temple. Templom. Mátyás templom, which means Matthias Church in English. So from where we dropped people off, we just kept driving straight ahead. So that's how we got onto Andrassy Avenue. Right now we are on Andrassy Avenue. And we are just one block from Octagon, intersection of Big Boulevard and Andrassy Avenue. What kind of trees? These are called, if I translate it word by word, it may not be the Latin name, but if I translate word by word, these trees are the whip trees. Whip, like a whip, what cowboys use? Yeah, W-H-I-P, whip trees.
Yes. Thank you.
Maybe it's because good whip handles can be made out of that wood. I don't know. I'm just guessing, really. Subway is metro. No. This yellow thing this is the streetcar. Tram. Subway is underground. Metro is underground, and I point out where you can get on the subway if you're heading for downtown later this afternoon, because you want to come back to the hotel first and then later you want to do some walking in downtown. So on your left hand side you see Burger King. Can you see that? Yes. Burger King. In front of Burger King there's a yellow railing.
Oh, okay.
That's where you go underground, go downstairs, and get on Metro Yellow Line. That's where the railing is painted yellow, right in front of Burger King. You go down there in case you are on your way to downtown from the hotel. Hotel is ahead of us, 2 blocks ahead.
Any department store here?
Department store in the near vicinity, yes. One block from our hotel, the other direction. I mean, now we are going to the hotel, and if we keep going ahead, I will point it out actually. We keep going down this street after we make that stop at the hotel, then we leave and we keep going down 1 more block on the left hand side. You will find a department store where that bridge is ahead of us. If you take a look to the window, you can see a bridge ahead of us, and on the left hand side, right before the bridge, there's a department store.
Before the bridge?
So here we are back at our hotel. I can see Bruno waiting for us. We'll pick him up and then we immediately go to the boat, because those of you who have signed up for the cruise, please stay on the bus. You are staying here in the hotel?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank you. In case you are coming tonight, I'll see you.
Okay.
Shopping，高书琴。
I gotta hit it.
Rồi, gần đi vào đây.
Anh quả gì không? Có gì có cái nhớ rồi chắc gì này.
What a better, what you want. Did you miss me?
Yes.
I knew you would.
No. I see.
The bridge running across in front of us where the cars are, that dark line. That's the bridge. Up in front, see the dark line? Yeah, that's the bridge. That's the bridge, and it's on the left-hand side. Left-hand side.
So the department store is on the left hand side, a dark glass covered building. Yes, as the department store on the left. As the department store. And this building on the right is Western Railroad Station, one of the 3 international railroad stations in Budapest. Now we are on our way to the boat. A boat which is exclusively reserved for our group and the other group which travels parallel with yours, this other Globus group. So you may see some familiar faces on board, but no other tourists will be on board. No other tourists. No boat is reserved for our 2 groups. Right on our arrival, we are going to be received with a welcome drink. Welcome drink at the boat is a glass of Hungarian apricot brandy. Very strong, very tasty, very strong stuff. If I try to compare its strength to something that you must be familiar with, and I should say it's something like, let me see, do you know the paint remover?
Yeah.
It's almost as strong as that. Very strong stuff. So please make sure you don't spill it over the deck, please. It could remove the paint. But it has a nice apricot smell and taste. Very good. Very nice to try a few sips, you know. During the first quarter of the cruise, I will continue my commentary. So you can consider the first quarter of the cruise as an extended city tour, because we are going to cruise by sites that we didn't get to see during the regular city tour, so I will point them all out for you and I'll tell you a few things about them. And then afterwards you'll have a chance to listen to some music, mostly waltzes, such as the Blue Danube Waltz, just to match the atmosphere. And then also we'll have a light lunch on board, including a couple more drinks and sandwiches, pastry, cookies, you know. It will be a light lunch, but it will definitely give you enough energy for the rest of the day. So delicious sandwiches are also included. You can pick up a couple more drinks at the bar, which drinks could be soft drinks like mineral water, orange soda, Pepsi, or Diet Pepsi, Pepsi Light, whatever it's called. And you could have glasses of beer, or red wine, or white wine, pastry and cookies for dessert. Once the cruise is over, we're gonna come back to our hotel, but on our way to the hotel, we'll make one more stop in case some of you would like to stay in town. We will make one more stop in downtown Pest, the same place where we drop people off after the city tour. So you could also stay in town after the cruise. You have time to think about it. These are the most important things about the cruise. It's going to take us about 5 more minutes to get to the boat. There was a question about about our name. Bruno must have told you that we Hungarians do not identify ourselves by the English translation, by the English corruption of our name. Hungarian, and Hungary for the country. We are Magyars, and if he told you so, then he was right. I am Magyar. The native language I speak is Magyar, and you are now in the Magyar country. It spells M-A-G-Y-A-R. So we are Magyars, we speak Magyar, and you're in the Magyar country now. So when you go back home, please tell all your friends that you've been to the Magyar country. I'm pretty sure some of them will give you that strange look. Then you can tell them that Magyar country is Hungary. In most of the Western languages, there are kind of translations or corruptions for our name, Magyar.
Magyars are so stubborn.
I'm sorry? Magyars are stubborn?
Yeah, so different from others.
Different from others, yeah. We haven't changed our name, we haven't changed our language. We still put last name first and first name last after thousands of years. Don't you do the same?
Yeah.
You do? You are stubborn too.
Yes.
Persevering.
The American play of euphemism. It's one of the great traits of Americans, those euphemisms.
But you know, sometimes it feels good to be stubborn. Now, we are very close to the boat that is waiting for us. And remember, right on arrival, we're going to be received with that welcome drink, Hungarian apricot brandy. The boat is a double-decker one. It's got a lower deck and an upper deck. As you can see, upper deck is covered. It's got a roof on, so you can sit in the shade. But it's open on the sides. You can enjoy a nice breeze there. And after taking your welcome drink, I suggest you take it on the upper deck. That's where I will do my commentary. And that is from where you can take the best pictures.
You should wear a jacket with me.
啊，给你。我们这个是野蛮的 nomad, I don't know that kind of custom.
So the boat Rhapsody, I'm just checking what's the name. One single word, it translates to here's to your health. And there is a shorter version, of course, which is egészségedre. Egészségedre. And that's the Black Sea, we were talking about it earlier. That's why we call it the Blue. 9 years old when she had to start living separately from her parents. And served God in a convent built on this island. She died at her age of 29. Because back in the Middle Ages, I'm talking about the 1240s, people had this very unusual, strange idea about how to serve God. They strongly believed that the more they suffered, the better they served God. Princess Margaret took it very seriously, you know, so she ended up taking the hardest jobs in the convent, 30 jobs in the convent. During winter time, she didn't wear warm clothes, and also, according to the legend, as part of her suffering, she did not even wash herself for 11 years. Well, you know, when you don't wash yourself for 11 years, it's always just the first 3 years that is hard.
I do not know it from, so if you take a brief look back behind us, has a French design because it was designed by Monsieur Gustave Eiffel. The bridge and the southernmost bridge are used for railroad traffic, and the rest 7 in between are used for. Those are the same color, is always under renovation. So if you come back in 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, I'm pretty sure that you will find one, most probably another section, but you will find one section of this building also. We just keep moving the scaffolding around the building, around and around and around. Start all over again. The leading party in the coalition is the Young Democrats Association Liberal Party. In my opinion, it's the best party in the country. I'm not biased. I'm not biased at all. And our Prime Minister is 36 years old. 36 years old, very well-educated person. And many of our ministers are in their 30s as well. And this is our very first government which has a clean past, probably because they are young, young enough to have a dirty past. But for sure they have a clean past. I said that when our ancestors arrived here at the end of the 9th century, in the year 896, they were nomadic people and they used to live in church, quite unusual. Fisherman's Bastion is called Fisherman's Bastion because that structure, it's a 19th century structure, was put on the ruins of
Daily river start from Black Forest in Germany and end up in the Black Sea.
Because that is real that's how we made people do it, It comes from a feature of our language, and it is that whenever we pronounce this ash sound, this soft sh sound, in writing, we only put down a single S for it. And that's what we do in the phonemes. But in Hungarian words, if you find this single S in Hungarian words, in written words, they are always pronounced like sh, always. So Budapest has nothing to do with it. It's really to make sure. Here on the right hand side, on top of Castle, you can see 15th century castle. From here, you can see the old 14th century walls from the circle of new buildings.
18th century cathedral. Side is plain.
These were the most important things I wish to tell you about these sites.
Is a hill.
And in case you missed some of these sites, you couldn't take pictures of them, don't worry. The back up north, so you will see these sites again. Also, if you have questions, maybe later you'll know where to find.
面暗暗。唔知翕落起来无 ？OK。
所以我最後即係北教 Stockholm， 我用嗰度級嘅工證書。乜級冇本用
Oh, good.
Our hotel charges 7% commission.
Everybody does charge a commission. But the exchange rate is excellent.
No, our hotel charges 7% commission.
Parliament.
6 or 7 years ago, and they remodeled it according to building. So they kept the high ceiling and chandeliers and stucco decorations and so on and so forth. So today, if you go there, waiters, of course, will come to our tables and ask us which main course we would like to have. For dessert, we will have again for a beer. Please let the waiters know, though, that you would like to have something else instead of wine. A gypsy band will play music. Their repertoire is 2,000 years ago.
你拢总有几个球？高诶，高诶。哦，高诶球来分两个。
Our restaurant.
你做 king， 你做 king， 我做 queen， 我做 queen。哎，我
Beautiful a restaurant.
你做公主，你做公主。我先生那个。哎，让怎么做国王？来就那什么？
来，一齊嚟。
我就想北车的 original 到底有多好？
那是台湾改良。
台湾改良的。
可以帮我一下啊，当然让我看我吃，很香。
今日而家可以 cheese 呢？cream cheese 哦，那就那个呀吧。哦，那第一个可以这个啥呀？
Good evening.
你表情就小可变化一下。对啊对啊对啊。
我那真神啊哈，还是我那肉麻兮兮啊。对啊，越肉麻越好。
我要闹什么肉麻？你有点懂回来。
哎呀，无小精一下呀。啊，对对对对对对对对。哎呀，哎，我这边。OK， 安尼个。
Intersection of Andresi Avenue and Big Boulevard. So we missed that left turn because we wanted to take you here to Hero Square. It's beautifully illuminated during the night. And we'll quickly drive into City Park as well, because we are planning to take you to that castle. The castle itself was built first in 1896 to function as an exhibition hall, when in 1896 with the country. So let's go and take a brief look and take a few photos.
All over the country, just on the paper castle.
这跟咱英国国家还不一样。
哎，这跟是真的，我的话。
有这个是啊，我垃圾，NAGY，真的，垃圾就是漏开。
哦，垃圾就是漏开哦，意思哦。
有，我把这个朋友，那个英国垃圾漏开。
哎，妈，你那边想不？
来。
Take a look around here. Right behind me, you can see the castle, which has Renaissance style. And our actual copies, replicas of existing castles in many different parts of
the The Turks left here in the late 1600s. They had other ruins, though, in the mileage. The kilometers of Budapest, of Hungary, are measured from here. So if you see a sign somewhere, Budapest 200 kilometers, it means 200 kilometers exactly to that milestone. If you're 300 kilometers, it means 300 kilometers to right here. If you see 500 kilometers, it was in 1989 that many East Germans had their vacations in Hungary. particularly here in Budapest and also Olympics.
你明仔载得几箱好钱？嘿，开始的哇。
Bullet holes that I mentioned.
もうどこまで見えるっていいね。もうね。
Ohne runterstellen, ja, es ist schon weg. Ja. Und dann wieder.
이거 캐대야 까요.
开手了，伊个。
我进来，我过来，过来。
Nein, das ist meiner. Mama hat gesagt, das ist mein Stein.
Horse farm near Budapest.
So, whenever you're ready, you can go for the horse and buggy ride.
Thank you.
Perfect throw. Anybody else?
어,看你看。 我恁翁老师奶呢？我恁个爱恁个老师奶。
而且那个球啊，我就选了林中山，那球现在我更难选啊。
哦耶！
我说几号什么？赶快一模一样。我刚学完，
他说你不笑也在笑。我坐在前面啊，边。
我嘛坐在前面。因为唐太宗和杨贵妃哈，他是求嘛轿子嘛，啊轿子。
轿车的轿车。
他轿车呢？你要轿车肯定是我平原嘛。接着你背起来。
别人叫出来。
呀，就是那个配置，而且加了很紧张啊。
你们没听到那个？一华轿车那个，
完了，轿车那个小我 local 的一华哦，印度那是，你等是讲个咩好叫？
一华。还跟阿拉伯叔叔。
这所谓。
我嘞，头动物啦，他们都有两个头啦。
真讲哎，
你好像
不然给这个有，
还要斜一点嘛。
有，他做证明，
因为 international。
当真他有能力，
对，
那个查某。
这查甫的啦，那查某的。
Arabian horses, and in the Habsburg times with Spanish and Andalusian horses. In the early 19th century,
có直接来。对。哼。
调我。
That's his hat.
Listen to that horse.
이거 얘나 저.
이거도 시리 먹기.
Oh, now he's gonna look at the one. Now they're gonna relax. He's a clown. He's a clown. Oh, this one too. This one. Yeah.
This guy's taking it.
Rise and shine.
他们在这脚上。
How's drink?
Refreshment.
The beer.
Oh, I love it.
Oh.